Welcome students, let's start today with the applied component practical first experiment, that is RAPD analysis to identify plant variants. So RAPD is standing for random amplified polymorphic DNA. This method, by this method we are going to find out fingerprints of different species of plant samples. So in this method we are going to carry out PCR of different plant species to relate them to how to relate them for their uh, variate different variants. So it is used to analyze the genetic diversity of an individual by using random primers, because the name random amplified polymorphic DNA, we are going to use random primers in the technique. So it is a standard PCR technique. Here with instead of amplifying a specific DNA sequence random with the help of specifically designed primers, we are using random primers. So we will get uh, amplicons of randomly amplified DNA locations. So let's understand the principle behind this method. So genetic analysis of an organism at a molecular level can be carried out with this by this method, and it is a PCR based method. So here we are going to use random primers. So these primers are going to be 10 nucleotide length long. These are non-specific and they are only going to amplify the random region of the genomic DNA. If the primers with arbitrary sequence, that is the random primers, are used to amplify, then they will go and sit anywhere in the DNA which is complementary to it and amplify it. So here we don't need to know the exact we are no the knowledge of exact DNA sequence is not required. So this is a very useful method when there is no knowledge of the exact sequence of the the sequence of the sample. So we are going to get different length amplicons as we are going to carry out the PCR. So these primers would be around, as I said earlier, 10 bases long as compared to the normal primer where we know the DNA sequence. There the primer length is around 17 to 23 base pairs, but here the primer would be shorter than that. Why? Because we want the primers to go and randomly amplify DNA locations. So we have reduced the amount of complementarity. Hence the size of primers is smaller, the length of primers is smaller than that of the specific when the specific primer PCR technique, where it is around 17 to 23 base. And here, since the primers are also short, they are their annealing temperature is reduced to less than 40 degrees Celsius. So the annealing happens quickly and randomly. So here annealing should be the important to remember here is the annealing should happen in particular orientation, that is the 3' to 5' or the 5' to 3', and uh, there should be the annealing that would be happening should be having reasonably good distance within different lengths of the DNA. So successful primer pairing would give us PCR would give us amplicon bands, which can be later on separated with the help of gel electrophoresis. And the advantages of RAPD is it requires small amount of DNA and short primers, and the knowledge of the DNA is not required. So this is a cost effective method to identify polymorphism easy and fast at the same point. So the requirements are here. So the basic requirement for DNA isolation, that is extraction buffer, then all the extraction chemicals required for extraction, EDTA, PVP, then isoamyl alcohol and chloroform solution, phenol chloroform isoamyl alcohol solution, ethanol solution, TE buffer, that is tris EDTA buffer. Then the next requirement is the PCR master mix. Then obviously the PCR master, if we are using PCR master mix, then it would be having the DNTPs, Taq polymerase, primers within itself, and the other ions such as MgCl2 also within itself. Okay, or if it is all these requirements can also be found in a ready-made kit that can also be used. So the procedure is first taking a leaf sample, different leaf sample can be taken, and then the standard procedure of isolation of DNA from any sample that we have studied in previous lectures. So that procedure has to be followed and DNA is isolated. Later on, the DNA is then undergone PCR. So here this method is also the same as the normal PCR, only the annealing temperature would be changing. So for that 50 nanogram of DNA would be taken, the isolated DNA, and then we are adding the PCR master mix to it. Then the thermocycler would be set up for 3 minutes. The different steps of the thermocyclers would be set up such that the denaturation step at 3 minutes at 94 degrees Celsius, then 30 cycles of this of 45 seconds at 94 degrees Celsius, then 1 minute of cycle 1 minute of the 37 degrees Celsius. This cycle would be set up, then extension would be carried out at 72 degrees Celsius for 1 minute each, and after that 7-minute hold temperature would be given, and the last one would be holding the PCR holding the sample at 4 degrees Celsius at the end. So the cycle would be such that 3 minutes, first step would be 3 minutes of 94 degrees Celsius, then there would be 30 cycles of 45 seconds of 94 degrees Celsius, 1 minute of 37 degrees, and the last one would be extension at 72 degrees Celsius for 1 minute. So the 30 cycle would be having 45 degrees at 94 degrees, 35 seconds for 94 degrees, 1 minute for 37 degree, and 1 minute for 72 degrees Celsius. And the last one would be a hold, the last extension would be a 70 last extension would be at 72 degrees Celsius for 7 minutes, and the hold would be for 4 degrees Celsius. Then after that, once we are done with the PCR, the later the step is to electrophorese it and separate it. So it would be electrophoresis in the tris EDTA buffer at 50 volts for 3 hours, and then stained with the standard ethidium bromide dye, and you will find out the amplification that was the fragments that are generated, the amplicons, and that can be visualized under the UV light, the UV chamber. So then we can identify which are the variants of a particular plants. So this experiment is a demonstration experiment. So we have done the explanation of this experiment.